Welcome to GIELTShelp.com's General IELTS Test Preparation videos. In this video, you will see a Turkish candidate score a Band 7 for her performance in the speaking interview. To get 6 original practice exams, over 100 hours of video lessons, and a fully interactive course, join our premium package today at GIELTShelp.com. Also, download our app, General IELTS Help, and begin improving for the next time you sit your exam. Now watch and learn.
Welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. Before we begin, may I see your identification, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And what is your full name?
My full name is Yilmaz Azra, as you will see on my passport. But please call me by my first name, Azra.
Azra. Okay, here's your passport back. And I'm going to record this for marking purposes. The speaking has 3 different parts. I will give you instructions for each. To begin, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. What do you do at weekends?
On Saturdays, I would like to hang out with my friends, go out to dinner or a movie, and on Sundays, I would like to relax at home, cleaning and cooking.
How did you come to this exam?
I came to this exam by public transit. First, I took a metro and then a bus.
Now I will ask you some questions on a general topic. Let's talk about feeling happy. Are you usually a positive person?
Yes, I would like to say that I'm chatty most of the time. I think life is full of fun and I try to see the positive side of the situations.
What do you do to be happy?
I usually exercise. I go to run in a nearby park every morning. I think that health is super important to feel positive.
Where do you go to enjoy life?
As I said at the beginning, I usually hang out with my friends. Good company and good friendship is the best way to feel positive. Like last Saturday, me and 3 of my friends went out to have some delicious kebabs and it was really good.
When was a time when you felt especially joyful?
I think it was my university graduation last June. I was totally on cloud 9.
If you could change one part of your life to be happier, what would it be?
I think it's a tough question because I'm quite content with the life. But if I had to say, perhaps more financial stability. I think money doesn't buy happiness, but it won't hurt as well.
How has your definition of happiness changed over the years?
That's another tough question because I used to think that my happiness depended more on what others did or thought about me. But now I had to realize that my happiness starts with my own thoughts and attitude.
That is the end of part 1. Now we will continue with part 2. For part 2, here is a card. Don't turn that over yet. And here is some note paper and a pencil. You will have 1 minute to look at the questions on the card. Think about your answers. You can take notes in the 1 minute if you wish, and then you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Okay, then go ahead, turn over the card, and your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay, Ezra, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay, given the chance, I would love to go on a safari adventure in Africa. I have loved animals all the time and I hope it would be amazing to see wild animals in their natural habitats like lions, giraffes, elephants, and rhinos. I have heard from some people that the best place to go on such a safari is Serengeti National Park in Tanzania, somewhere between May and September. I would go there with my best friend Kubra because she is also a big time animal lover, and I'm sure we would have an amazing time to discover the natural beauty of Tanzania, and I'm sure it will be an adventure of a lifetime. I think while on the safari, I would love to travel for days, taking pictures and checking out these animals to see natural habitats, and and of course I would hire a local guide to make sure that we will stay safe and try to see as much of fauna and flora as possible. We would camp out, stay in the tent, try the local dishes and in our safari, and I would go there at least 1 week to see as much as places as I can. Not only would this adventure be memorable because of the unusual and surreal environment, but it would be also exciting because of the sense of danger, like staying between the fiercest animals and see them in their areas. And I truly hope that one day I will make this adventure became a reality.
Okay, Ezra, your 2 minutes is up. I will stop you there, and please pass back the card. Thank you. The note paper and the pencil as well, please. And now we will continue with part 3. For part 3, I will ask you some more questions related to the topic of part 2. Let's talk about adventure travel. Why do people like going on adventures in faraway places?
I think people like to travel to other countries or continents of entertainment because of the novelty of the surroundings. I mean, going on an African safari would be totally different than anything else here in Turkey.
Is it possible to have adventures locally?
Yes, absolutely. There are lots of adventures we had here in Turkey as well, like going out to one of the famous caves, or like Tupnisa or Zeytintaşı.
What should people do to stay safe if they go on adventures?
Yeah, I think that people should be informed as well as possible before going on an adventure. I would definitely read some info about how to behave nearby the animals in Africa before going on a safari. And I will take some hiking boots with me.
What could be possible dangers on such expeditions?
Well, I think not being informed well can lead to injuries or getting lost or even worse.
Let's talk about planning for the future. Why is it important for people to plan their international travels well ahead?
I think it is the same thing that I had mentioned before about being prepared. Being prepared for the travels is much more cost effective and it can be more enjoyable for the travelers. I mean, most of the travelers are taking plane tickets in advance, and it can be like almost 50% less cheaper.
What can happen if they plan last minute?
Well, it can be problematic. I'm sure it can be much more expensive, and the availability of accommodation and activities can be limited.
What are some good tools that people can use to plan their schedules ahead of time?
I think the first aid of planning that came to my mind are calendars, especially the digital ones are like Google Calendar. People can use these calendars to make their appointments, to make sure of their daily lives.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, sure. For example, I was using Google Calendar to study this IELTS exam over the past 3 months. And I was scheduling my studies and it makes me much more confident.
Are there any negatives to planning activities ahead?
Well, I don't think, but it can cause a problem in case if people always think about the future and not focusing on the present.
Okay, that is the end of part 3. That concludes the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. You will have your mark for this in about 2 weeks' time with the other sections. Remember to take your ID with you and have a great rest of your day, Ezra.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
So why does Azra deserve a band 7 for her performance on this speaking interview? Well, according to the official speaking section IELTS band descriptors, a candidate is graded on 4 different components. Number 1, fluency and coherence. Number 2, lexical resource. Number 3, grammatical range and accuracy. Number 4, pronunciation. You can find these band descriptors in your My Student account on our website. For fluency and coherence, a band 7 is a person who can speak at length without noticeable effort or loss of coherence. Azra is clearly able to do this. They may demonstrate some language-related hesitation at times and some repetition and self-correction. Again, we can notice Azra hesitating in a couple of questions and answers, and she is repeating and self-correcting at certain times. In addition, a Band 7 candidate can use a range of connectives and discourse language with some flexibility. Now, for lexical resource, according to the band descriptions, someone who scores a 7 uses vocabulary flexibly to discuss a variety of topics. Again, Azra has no problem speaking about the topics of part 1, 2, or 3 and finding correct vocabulary to do so. They may also use some less common expressions and idiomatic language. Again, we see Azra doing this a couple of times. Furthermore, a Band 7 candidate can paraphrase effectively. That means Azra is paraphrasing the answers from the questions that she's being asked. Now, let's look at grammatical range and accuracy, as well as pronunciation. For grammatical range and accuracy, a Band 7 candidate is able to use complex sentence structures, meaning conditionals, subordinate conjunctions, flexibly and accurately. They mostly produce error-free sentences, though some grammatical mistakes are still present. Again, we can see Azra doing this throughout her speaking. She does produce compound and complex sentences, although some do include grammatical mistakes. Now, for pronunciation, a Band 7 student is understandable for the most part, let's say 95% of what they're stating. However, there may be a couple of words which are slightly mispronounced. Nevertheless, they do not lose coherence due to pronunciation. With Azra, this is absolutely the case. Although she mispronounces a couple of words, the listener or the audience can clearly understand what Azra is saying. For these reasons, Azra scores a Band 7. Make sure to practice your English so you can achieve this level too. Good luck the next time you sit your IELTS exam. to see many more speaking interview lessons like this one, and for 6 original practice exams, a fully interactive course with strategies for those high band scores, as well as over 100 hours of video lessons, join our premium package at gieltshelp.com. Also, download our app from your Google Play and Apple App Stores. General IELTS Help. Link your app to your web account for a truly world-class learning experience. Begin studying for success today. Subscribe to our channel. Click here. Watch more videos? Click over here. Or click our IELTS Hero for 100 hours of complete video lessons, 6 original practice exams, and strategies to pass IELTS.